Hi, everyone. And in this movie, which I have already gone ahead and put my first name and the first initial of my last name and underscore using my naming format. And the file is going to be black and white name art. In this movie, I'm going to create some black and white identity design work that will take into Photoshop to customize and add color to. This is one of many ways that you can begin to create your own posters. So I'm going to begin with the text tool here, and my favorite method for making large text is to create a big box. And with this big box, I will type my name. Click and drag across the name, and then I'm going to come over and I'm going to center it for the title, which is essentially my name. I know I don't want the type to be that tall. I'll select the type again, and over here where the type size is, I will go ahead and change it to a large size such as 60 and pick the font I want to use, which is going to be something that matches my personality more, or at least I feel like it matches my personality more. And I'm going to use this fun one called Slacky. If you want to, you can play around with the size some more. I will select the type. I want something large. You'll notice that at the pop-down menu, the biggest we can make the type here is 96, so I'll try that. And if I want it bigger than that, I need to click on this number and type the number I want, 120, and then press the return key, and that looks pretty good. So I want to add some personal style to this, and I like to play around with arrows. I wonder if I can do something here with creating a small arrow. And then if you remember, we can make the outline transparent and the fill a color, black. And I'll rotate this again, and I'll see if I can stick this arrow here on the bottom of my A. And I'm going to make a box around everything and move it. Now, I am going to use copy and paste to save some time here. Move it again using the arrow keys. So select everything by making a box around it. And then you can move it with the arrow keys. To save some time, I'm going to copy, edit, copy, and then do edit, paste. And now I have another arrow. And I will rotate this one around to point up. Or maybe what might be cool is I'll make the bottom of a more capital letter L here. So you can, based on your idea, your plan, or your sketch, you can set your custom elements in different positions on your page. To zoom in, you can use the zoom tool and click a couple of times where you need to resize an object. Switch to the select tool or selection tool, and here I'm going to move my object away and line it up a little bit better with the A shape, and maybe make it just a bit wider, and getting into some fine tuning here. You can use the arrow keys to move your object, and if you press the shift arrow, you can move things in smaller increments. So I'm using the shift and the left arrow key to line up the bottom of that A. That looks pretty cool. And now I want to go back to 100% in the view. So if I go to the view menu and choose fit 104%, my artwork will zoom back, and I'll click away, and maybe I will add one more arrow pointing this way. So I already have copied the arrow. If I paste it again, since it was the last thing copied, there it is. And I'll rotate again, getting a basic idea of the direction I want the G to be, bringing it over to the G, choosing the zoom tool, and clicking on it, oops, too many times. I'll zoom out, and shift arrow should be moving this shape. that's going to be good for a moment. Let's see if I can make this arrow a little wider and a little wider and a little wider and just see if it fits. That's going to work just right. Okay, I'm going to zoom back out. View. And again, fit. Selection tool and click away. So my name part is done. To make sure the pieces don't separate from each other, I'm going to make a box around everything and choose Arrange Group. Next, I'm going to put my slogan or my saying or my quote or my secondary level of information inside of another box. So I'll create a new text box. The size it wants to make it, let's see, we'll go with 18. You can always change that later. And here I'll put in my important words I want you to know about this project. Always keep learning. And select the text by clicking and dragging across it. And here I'll change the font. I will go with this one, Pacifico, and make it larger. And here I'll make it 48. And that was just a good guess, actually. Maybe a little bit larger, 60. Okay, if it doesn't fit in the original box, you can increase the size of the box. But now I'm thinking it's too big, and I'm going to type in a value that I like. Instead of 48 or 60, you can type in the number you want. So I'm going to type here 54 and hit return. I'm on the selection tool, and I can move this piece first by clicking away and then clicking on the box. If you move it at the edge, I can select both by making a box around it. Remember that this is a group now, so it won't come apart. And now I think I am going to add a border. So I will go ahead and do that in the next movie. See you there.